Okay, this is the beginning of episode 18, Exploring Averin. I am your dungeon master for Valenaria Chronicles, Joseph Dunlap. Everyone else, go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, and your character's name.
I am Tristan, and I play Gaz, the High Elf Rogue.
I am Zan, and I play Mahal, the Dwarven Fighter.
I'm Danielle, and I play Mercero, a half-elven druid monk.
I'm Derek. I play the human paladin Rook.
And I am Bree. I play Isarel, a half-elf ranger.
When last we were checking in episode 17 with our intrepid heroes, and Tristan says drunk is the abbreviation for druid monk, apparently. Anyway, episode 17, we were heading towards the capital city of Averin because we were tired of doing work that did not pay well. So after many adventures of defeating great giant dragons that were actually kobolds and getting a parade and a painting, which, by the way, go ahead and throw up on the screen the painting, because that is a commission that was recently completed.
Painting.
Yeah, and following that, we liberated slaves, and we brought them back to their original home of a river village. Maybe one day it'll get named after you or something, who knows. They are on their way to the capital city of Averin. The idea for a while has been we need to get to the capital city of Averin so we can actually get paid to do work and find work in Averin. So with our last session, we completed up a combat session where our heroes, or mercenaries, whichever they want to be called, defeated some bandits and then captured the Surely Grey Elf. They're on their way to Averin, and then they arrive in Averin, and then they all explore, except for Zan, who rolled so low he went straight to the tavern to have drinks. And then eventually everyone converged there and then got rooms for the night in the tavern. And that's what we're picking up, is Yanmaris is currently essentially in Gaz's custody. What name are you going by, Gaz? It's a new place. We need a new name and a new accent.
You're right, it's a new place, and we need a new name and a new accent. Oh, boy, it's been a while since we played this. What shall I use this time? We used bow. We used lance already? I think we did. Yeah, we did. What is a good...
He's armed, dirk, lance, and bow so far.
Right.
While he's figuring that out, I'm going to finish up the recap here. We are going to pick up in the morning, and we're going to figure out what everyone's doing in Averin, and we're going to roleplay this entire session of everyone doing things in Averin, finding mentors, finding work, and just getting acquainted with the city that they've never been to before.
Trying to bring back all my memories of last session. I do believe that some of us went and found some of the contacts we'd been looking for, and I had been dragging Yanmaris around with me.
If memory serves, here's what happened. You dragged Yanmaris across Averin looking for the Thieves Guild, telling her, you're going to join with me. She said, what if I don't want to? And you said, then we part ways, and you hope I never see you again. Marzira took Winter to go and get armor fitted, and that's currently being worked on. Rook went and found the Temple of Cord, and I believe had a conversation with a paladin there about potential mentorship.
I started the conversation, didn't actually have it.
Okay, we can have that conversation as we pick up the RP then. And then Isarel, I don't recall exactly what you did, but I know you also didn't roll very high. So why don't we pick up with Rook's conversation with the Paladin of Cord. All I remember, because it was a while ago, was you got to the campus of the Church of Cord, and you happened to come across a Paladin of Cord who was willing to have a conversation with you about mentorship.
So, are there many paladins of Cord here?
So he sort of takes you around as you're talking to show you the campus is not very big. In fact, if you had seen the Church of Palor, it was basically a school. It was like a large campus with various buildings. And what you see with the Church of Cord is it's essentially just two buildings with a lawn and a sparring area. So as he's showing you all of that, he explains to you that Paladins of Cord are pretty rare. There's not very many, although there are also a fair amount of clerics and other clergymen. And a lot of what they do is much like the Church of St. Cuthbert, which he points across the street. They typically will hire people to go on missions for them. And then they'll send sometimes a representative to oversee and sometimes not. And then usually once a year they'll send followers of Kord, clerics and paladins and others, barbarians, fighters, what have you, on some great mission together to acquire something of value.
I see. Has there been one of those recently?
We usually do them sometime in the spring or summer, so we're pretty due for one at this point. For anyone who's forgotten, we are almost through the first month of spring. Is there anything else I can help you with, sir? And what was your name again?
My name is Rook. I was hoping to continue my training. I've made some progress on my own, but I'm aware that generally paladins are capable of casting spells, but that is something I have yet to achieve.
He nods at you, understanding the situation pretty clearly, and he says, yes, that is something that you will learn as you progress as a paladin, because as you well know, priority at the beginning of being a paladin is prowess in battle for glory of your deity. Usually Pelor, but those of us who are actually worthy can follow Kord. So now that you have done that, and he admires your armor and your weapon and your guns, if you will, now that you've achieved that, then yes, it would be time for you to proceed with learning spellcasting. Fortunately, I can either do it myself depending on the time that the both of us have, or I can recommend someone for you.
Well, I would like to learn from you if possible, but I don't know how long my compatriots intend to stay in the city as well, so if you could give me that recommendation as a backup of sorts, that would be much appreciated.
Yes, okay. Well, the recommendation would be someone here, but if you are planning on leaving the city, then I would probably need to do some research into what your options are outside of Averin.
If you're willing to do such, it would be much appreciated. As long as I'm talking to one such as yourself, are you aware of any, work in the city that would be suitable for, one with talents such as mine?
He sizes you up for a second. He says, you don't seem the military type, is that correct?
It's not where I learned to fight, no, but I'm not looking for anything long term, but if they have a, freelance job, I guess you could call it, I could run it by those I travel with and see if they would have interest.
A military contract, you mean?
Sure.
He doesn't seem sold on that idea, and it's not like he has a say in it. He's trying to size up what's a good option for you. So instead, he says, I can look into whether either here or over at Cuthbert, if there's any work there, but I can also give you some names of potential employers, political and otherwise.
All right, that would be much appreciated.
Come back tomorrow at some point, not in the morning, but come back tomorrow and I will give you information on mentors and potential employers. But I want to say that if you are going to be in Averin for a while, I would like to bring you into the fold, if you will. I would like to incorporate you into our order here, especially with all this trouble I'm going to for you.
Yes. If my companions are amenable, I shall certainly make the effort.
He extends his hand to shake.
And I'll shake his hand. But I have a question for you, Mr. DM.
Yes.
I would assume he has his weapon on him.
Yes, he's got a very respectable greatsword, worthy of one who follows Kord.
Does it look like it might be something special, like one of those, basically like a magic sword?
Make a spot check.
All right.
Unless you're asking him to show it to you.
No, this would just be like if I noticed it as something special, I would ask, but I need to notice first. Spot. Oh joy. A whopping 0. Let's see what I can get on dot here. 15.
Very nice. Good job, Dai. Yes, he's got a pretty nifty sword. It even appears to have some sort of etching or emblem on it.
Shake his hand. I would, notice his weapon. Say, your sword. It seems different than most. Was there something special about it?
He subconsciously reaches back and pats it and says, "Oh yeah, it's this. I see that you noticed my emblem of Kord."
I had hoped to get something similar marked onto my armor and weapon, but the last time we were out with the smith, we did not have the time.
Understood. Is that something that you are interested in?
It is.
Yeah, I mean, with me helping you.
Well, that much I think I can see to myself.
Would you like a better look of it?
If you don't mind. I certainly don't mind appreciating fine craftsmanship, especially when it comes to arms or armor.
Well, I didn't make it myself, but I can tell you who did. He pulls the sword off of his back and lets you admire. It seems at least masterwork quality, and Tristan makes a good point in chat about middlemen. It seems to be at least masterwork quality, if not magically enhanced, and then has a very nicely etched emblem of the sign of Cord. You know, it's always a variation of a fist, usually holding lightning. This one is a fist holding lightning. It's very stylized.
All right. I'll admire it for a minute or so. Let's say, yeah, this does seem like quite a weapon. If you wouldn't mind telling me where you got it, perhaps he'll have something of use for me as well.
When you come back tomorrow, I will have it on the parchment as well.
Very well. I will be back, and hopefully with an answer as to how long we are staying.
Yes, hopefully that too. By the way, my name is Boram.
Boram. Alright, then I shall see you tomorrow, Boram. Good luck in any battles you may have, be they trained or otherwise.
Oh yes, I will show those training dummies a thing or two. So are we going to pick up now in the morning?
If we pick up in the morning, I just need to know where the Grey Elf is. I left her at the Thieves Guild and hoped that she would stay, is what I understand.
You didn't find the Thieves Guild.
Oh.
You made the roll, several rolls, but all you managed to pinpoint was where in the city it might be.
So I'm trying again the next day?
Yeah, that was my understanding, and then you're forcing her to stay in one of the rooms in the tavern.
Sound that way.
I don't think we quite got there, so you can tell me now where you're wanting her to stay.
I mean, I would impress upon one of the women in our group to keep her nearby.
I'm not sure she likes me much.
I'm not sure she likes any of us much.
I mean, I did shoot her.
I mean, if she likes dogs, then she can stay with me.
Didn't Winter pee on her?
I mean, she still might like dogs.
Just turn to Yanmaris and just say, you have a choice. And I indicate the two of them of who you can spend the night in the same room with.
She sighs. Yeah, she points at the drunk, the druid monk. Says, I suppose that one will do. Keep that dog away from me, though.
It's fine. She won't pee on you, unless I tell her to.
Out of curiosity, is she still only communicating in Elven, or is she using Common now?
I don't think she has spoken in Common yet.
Okay. If translation is needed, I'll do that. I don't remember if.
It's just the two fighting types who won't know what she's saying.
Okay, I couldn't remember if
The
Danielle's
colorblind fellows.
Right, I couldn't remember if Danielle's character spoke Elven or not.
I mean, half-elf.
She's a half-elf.
Okay.
That takes care of that, right?
Indeed.
So now we're at morning. We had Yanmaris spent the night with Zira and Winter, slept on the floor, kept Winter away as much as she was able to, did not want to get peed on again. And then everyone else, I believe, had already paid for their own room. As I recall at the end of the last session, we were talking about prices.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at now. We're at the morning following, and everyone can slowly, however they want to, in their own time, make it downstairs to see if there's any food to eat.
I will head downstairs, and because I don't think I've ever traveled this far, I want to see if there's interesting on the menu.
So as you come downstairs and you address the tavern keep about a menu, you are provided with a small parchment that is essentially the menu, saying the notable drinks that you might ask for, although there's a note that they have pretty much anything you might want, which may or may not be true, and then a small list of different foods that you might want. It does not appear that it was a breakfast menu, so you'll just have to figure out what you want based off what's on there. It's just basic things like bread and meat and cheese and a few other exotic foods.
Exotic how?
A few random foods that you don't know what they are and could be another language.
Okay.
In fact, one of them is in Elvish.
Okay. I will start with some bread and meat, and we'll see. We'll start there.
Okay, the cost is negligible, so like 5 copper.
Okay.
And you're getting your bread and meat, and it's what you would expect for 5 copper. It's food though.
So I technically can read Elven. Can I interpret what that says on the menu, or is it something completely different that I've never?
Let me think of what it is real quick.
Okay.
If chat has any suggestions, they can fire those in.
Should
I will
totally
say
be
that
like-
whatever it is, the Elvish word was misspelled.
Should be some kind of boiled dumplings.
No, it's not going to be turducken. Ostrich sausage. Let's go with that. But it's in Elvish and it's slightly misspelled.
Or strict sausage. Yeah,
What?
I'll give it a try.
Did you say ostrich?
Yeah, that's what it says right here.
I'm certain it must have meant ostrich.
Well, it still sounds very interesting, so I think I'm gonna try it.
Did you guys just try to say orcish?
Just
No, it does say strict, but I can see how that sounds like.
I think we should be very hopeful that it is not orcish sausage.
Yeah, no thanks. I don't want to eat orc.
I will take it if it's ostrich.
The tavern keep seems confused about why you don't know what it is on the menu. He points it out and says, obviously that's ostrich. I don't know.
Oh, good. Yes. We were wondering just because it looks like it looks like it's not quite spelled right. So we were just confused, but thank you for clarifying. I would like to order one of them.
Okay, 1 second.
What is an ostrich anyway? I got a natural 1 to check my nature, which for me is I'm actually not allowed to roll knowledge nature because I have no training in it.
I'd like to point out I asked the same question but didn't realize I was muted.
Tristan, you rolled so low, you get to make up what you think it is.
I'm pretty certain it's one of those creatures that lives in the ocean but breathes air.
I got a 9, so how much do I know?
Lungfish. That's it.
The innkeeper looks at all of you like you're crazy. He
Well, some kind of
butchers the
reptile.
pronunciation of the misspelled word. He looks over at Rook and says, "That's it. It's the reptile, yes."
All
I'm
right.
pretty sure it lives on land.
Yeah, reptiles do that.
No, I'm telling
Like lizards.
it's a lungfish.
Is it edible? If so,
I mean, if it's not edible, why would it be
I don't
on
know.
the
You
menu?
elves tell me.
Did he call us whelps?
Elves, you
Elves.
elves.
Oh, elves.
You tell me if a lizard ostrich is edible. I don't know. I just imported it.
Alright, I'll get one too.
yep, let's try it.
I'll be
Yeah.
safe and take a pork chop.
You guys have fun with that. Bread and water, maybe a little cheese.
Admittedly,
Yeah,
I
simple meal will be somewhere between 3 to 5 copper, depending on how many different things you asked for. The sausage itself being imported is going to come out to 5 copper exactly.
I'll just throw a gold at him and call it good. Like for the table.
Well, sir, you're covered for the next week.
just like watching this gold piece go away.
Yeah, it's slow motion as it goes wing, wing, wing on the counter.
A silver piece would have covered the table for the day, Rook.
Oh, I know if it was 3 to 5 copper a person.
Okay, 2 silver pieces.
Good point.
So anyone who actually tried out the lizard sausage discovers that apparently ostrich lizards taste kind of like chicken.
I would have also
Yeah.
made sure that we got something for the, not captive, but, reluctant party member. Let's go with that.
She's definitely a captive. Prisoner.
Is this a conversation we're having in character?
Based on his voice, I'd go with yes.
Yeah, he had the accent. We're back to Foghorn Leghorn.
I mean, he really never got to live before, so now he's got a name attached to him.
Aw. Yeah, so Yin Maris chimes in. Slave,
Only if we were making you do work for us.
dragging me across town.
You been working?
She points at her feet.
I'm not gonna break your feet. You wouldn't be able to walk then.
You need new boots or something?
He's been working my feet. Spent all day yesterday walking across this stupid city.
But once we find what we're looking for, we won't need to walk anymore.
Joy.
You can
Hey,
come with
try
me
to
if
see
you'd
it.
rather. Oh wait, I don't speak Elvish.
Seer's gonna basically stuff part of the sausage in her mouth.
Wait and see if you turn green.
It tastes like chicken.
I'll assume there's some translating going on since Rook is talking to her.
Well, only the first part was me talking to her. I had to retcon the second part of the "you can come with me," but the first part was just reaction to her pointing at her feet, so that doesn't really require translation.
Yeah, she pointed at her shoes and you asked her a question in common, so then she would have answered you while looking at Rook and speaking Elven then.
How rude.
Like I said, won't need to walk anymore.
She looks over at Rook and raises her eyebrow as if Rook understood what Gaz just said.
How do you say, I don't understand Elvish in, Elvish?
I feed him. I feed him a line in Elvish.
I repeat it as best I can, having no idea what it actually means. What did I say?
I'm going shopping for a dress today.
I'm just gonna sit there and laugh.
In
'cause I
Broken
understand
Common,
it.
she says, in Broken Common, she looks at Rook and says, I'm sure you'll look very nice. But very, very Broken Common.
Oh, do you want help?
With learning Elvish? Yes, that'd be very helpful.
No, with the dress.
I just start staring daggers at Gaz.
I just grin broadly across the table at you. And
What
take a
color do
bite.
you want?
Table that for a later time.
Short or long?
It'll be easier if we get matching ones.
Well, that would look awesome.
I know. I'm all excited. Any
Should I
event,
edit the slideshow to put a dress on Rook?
No,
Yes.
I mean, you're the DM. You get the call.
I guess I'm just too much in the character of Yanmaris right now. Okay, continue.
on to more important business. How long do you guys think we'll be staying?
Maybe a few days. Winter's armor is being worked on.
Any
Yes,
idea
and
how
I
long
want to
it'll take?
explore.
A few days. I don't know.
Well, I've got some possible leads on work that might be nearby, but I also have some things I need to attend to at the Temple of Cord. So if we could stay for like 5-7 days, something like that, for me to get some things done and see about taking the next step in my training,
and,
I'd appreciate it.
What kind of work did you find?
I don't know yet, but I was asking around at the Temple of Cord, so likely something that involves combat.
See, dangerous way of living that. Much safer ways of making money if that's what you're looking for.
I prefer this way.
Of course you do. I imagine you're expecting all of us to help with that.
If you wouldn't mind, but the jobs are optional, it's just the other things that I need to take care of.
I just think you need to remember that there's others here, and these decisions can't necessarily be made unilaterally.
Indeed, that's why I was only asking around to see what might be available, not trying to sign myself up for anything just yet.
Ah, alright, good. I do hope you'll run it past us before you go to accept any jobs.
Naturally.
Alright, then. I can accept that. You all have any feelings on the matter?
I am up for new experiences.
Yeah, same.
I'm down for anything.
I had very near forgotten Mahal was at the table. It's just, there's the edge of the table and then a mohawk and nothing else.
It kinda drops out of you. Would you just stand on the stool? You'd be easier to see.
Mahal
Oh,
climbs
wait,
up
he
and
is
stands on
standing.
his stool.
I'm teasing. In any event, I need to, take our friend Yanmaris here and see if I can't find, what I'm looking for today.
Speaking of finding what we're looking for, I also have a lead on finding weapons of the quality we were hoping to find here.
Oh, yeah?
The paladin I talked to seemed to have something a bit above and beyond what is achieved through normal means. And he could tell me where he got it, so based on the context, I believe it's somewhere in the city.
And have we the funds to afford things of such quality?
Not yet, but that's also why I was
Looking for work.
indeed.
Alright, well, everybody's got somewhere they'd like to go within the city today?
I just want to walk around and explore.
Alright. And you're comfortable on your own?
I think so.
Alright.
Let me know if you need to find me. I'll either be at the temple, or you'll be able to find someone there who'll know where I went, likely to the smith to see what he has.
I plan to be difficult to locate, so I wouldn't recommend coming looking for me.
That does not surprise.
Give you like a half smirk.
Yeah.
I assure you all the business I plan to conduct today is on the up and up.
Good. As long as you're behaving yourself, I don't mind that you're hard to find, just, don't
Well,
get yourself killed.
I'm fair certain I won't get myself killed, but I will not promise to behave.
How about being civil? That an option?
I think I can agree to that.
Alright, I can work with that.
Stabbing people is pretty civil as far as I've been taught.
Only if they try and stab you first.
I was
That's
taught
an
it was an
interesting definition of civil.
I was taught it was an acceptable way to end a conversation.
Yamara says in Elvish, I want to end this one. Is that how I do it?
I'm communicating with my team in common, so am I able to use this as an understanding that she does know common, she just won't use it?
She did respond in Elvish to something Rook had said.
Okay, so she does seem, from my observation, to understand common.
I don't
Also,
think that would
Dawn-
At
end.
least enough to have commented.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think it would end the conversation now. If you stabbed him, we're still here.
Is that in common or Elvish?
Elvish.
Dang it.
She turns to Zira and says, right, if I stab him, then he's saying, oh gods, I've been stabbed, and there's a whole thing.
I would definitely ham it up.
She finds that amusing. She kind of smirks a little bit.
Well, then, if everyone has had their fill and hasn't anything more important to say to me, I am going to take my walk out in the city with you and Myris.
One last thing before we head out. Is anyone still suffering from injuries? I could just try and tend to them at least somewhat before we leave for the day.
Oh, do you need healing?
I do not, but I was trying to see if anyone else did.
According to my sheet, I'm at full health.
I think we'll all be at full health because of the rest.
Possibly. Remember, in 3.5, you only gain back your level in HP after a long rest. So you would have gained back 3 HP from whatever you lost yesterday.
Which was only 1.
Okay, then yeah, you're at full. Somebody else might not be, though.
I'll have to ask. We'll have to just kind of time travel back to asking Bree when she gets back.
I'll just say to Zira, I'd say, it's probably worth producing a pocket full of them good berries every morning, just in case.
Oh, right.
What about her?
Oh.
I say, gesturing towards our reluctant friend.
Oh, Yin, do you need healing magic?
Oh, you mean from the fact that you shot me? Oh wait, no, it was her.
Yeah, that's.
She makes the sassiest face in the fact that you're answering her sarcastic question, and she says, why yes, I would appreciate it.
I'll give her
Okay, here we
full points of health.
She's casting Cure Light once.
She didn't tell Rook.
Right.
Alright then, keep your secrets.
She gets 3 HP back.
Okay, she looks like she's feeling a little bit better.
Why don't you, once you've produced them, hand me one of them good berries to take with me?
Oh, right. Sorry, I can only prepare a limited amount of spells, and that's not one of them.
That's unfortunate. Very useful spell.
Okay, here's how we're going to proceed with the next, the end of the, from here to the end of the episode. We're going to go with the cast order, and what we'll do is we'll set up what each person is doing and do a bit of it, and then we'll go back through the order and then complete their scenes for the day.
Okay.
So we'll try and do an in-game day if we're able to.
Before we start that real quick, Bree's back. Bree, are you hurt at all?
Am I what?
Is your character injured at all?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start off with... Wait, what name is he using? Clubs.
Wait, I missed that.
It's because he's a gambling man, and also clubs are weapons.
Yeah, I don't say anything anymore when your voice changes, but every once in a while I'm like, wait, what name now?
Clubs.
Okay, first I want to nail down what everyone's doing. So Clubs, I'm assuming all you're going to be doing today is trying to find the Thieves Guild.
I'm gonna be trying to find the Thieves Guild, and should I succeed, get her introduction out of the way, and foist her off on them. Whatever she does after that is not my problem. And then, if there's any time left in the day, go searching for these people that I was told about by my contact back in Gamut, Vexen.
Yes, Vexen. And then as a side note to everyone who may have forgotten, before you reach level 4, you will need to either make contact with a mentor or visit a previous mentor in order to proceed to level 4 because of the drastic changes that level 4 brings. So that's why Tristan's trying to find the Thieves Guild, and that's why Rook has made contact with the church, whereas a few of you may already have a mentor you can go back to. So, with that said, Mahal, what are you doing today?
He's going to be roaming around looking for Dwarven Forge weapons.
Okay, well, he's in luck. And then Zira, What are you doing?
She already got what she needed, so she's just gonna wander around the city and see if anything interesting catches her eye.
Did we ever say when the armor would be done?
A few days. I can't remember if there were like a specific amount of days.
A few days is all I remember being said.
Okay, if I hadn't... Yeah, okay. Just a vague amount of days. So we'll have it be ready tomorrow.
Okay.
And then, Rook, I know what you're doing. And Israel, you said you were going to explore. Is that all correct?
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the mentor thing. So I think there's two things that my character could do today. I could look to see if there's like a ranger society, or because I'm always interested in exploring new cities, I could serve like, a cultural like museum or local storyteller type thing.
Okay. And I'm not going to tell anyone who they have to pick for their mentor, but I will say that Zira and Israel have as an option to at some point go back to the Great Forest to make contact with their previous mentor. But again, I'm not telling you who to choose.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with Clubs dragging around his charge.
Yep.
His ward.
My ward. So I've got knowledge local. I can also use things like, spot, listen. What else might help me do this? Search. All of those are skills that I could use to try and find what I'm looking for. Gather information. Which one would you like me to roll, since I'm wandering through the city? I've been on the lookout for any...
Well, in a situation like this, I'll basically let you choose what you're rolling and how you're going to be going about it.
Okay. Then, I think that I will use some gather information and some sense motive to make sure that I'm saying the right things to the right people, while on the lookout for any markings, generally markings, that might point me toward my quarry.
That sounds good to me. Go ahead and make the roll.
Alright. Gather information, I got a 16. And sense motive, I got a 9.
Okay. The 9 is going to just not do anything.
Okay.
Whereas the gather information, you're going to spend, I believe it's an hour per check. You're going to spend a while going around just sort of, coyly trying to get the information you need.
Mm-hmm.
The information is you're managing to pinpoint the way that you're wanting to go about finding the Thieves Guild. You managed to find 2 different people who were somewhat helpful in that regard. And the first one said that you basically have to say the right thing in the right place. And that's all they really knew.
Yeah.
They'd heard it from someone who had made contact with them. It was, you got to be in the right place and say the right words.
Okay.
Whereas the second one is able to give you an idea of where in the city you're looking more specifically, which is there's the slums south of the river, south of the main road. That the further towards the wall you get, towards the south wall, the more of a slum the city becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in the heart of that area, he believes to the west is going to be the right place to go.
Okay. Then I would head to that area, and I would disguise my actions once I'm there as simply looking for somebody who might be willing to buy some things I'd come into possession of, which, even if my searching is unsuccessful, somebody might at some point me toward a fence.
And what things are you purporting to be selling?
Well, I think we've got a couple of... I've got all of these... I've got 150 GP in stuff written on my sheet, which I believe was like gems and jewels and like trinkets that we had picked up from one of the things we did.
Yes.
It was the parade. It was
the
stuff that
River
we got
Village
given,
was very grateful.
Yeah.
Oh, was it the parade? Okay.
I think it was a mix. I think it was a mixture of the two. Might have been River Village, honestly.
Okay,
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I've got stuff from the River Village that I will need to fence in order to actually turn into 150 GP that I am told it is worth. So I would like to be looking for a fence. I imagine some of this stuff is useful stuff that people would actually want.
Okay, can you make me 3 spot checks and 3 listen checks?
I can. Let's see, the first spot check is looking damn good. That's a 20, dirty 20. A 22. And 12. And then for listen, I think it's a slightly lower bonus. I got a 16, an 18, and a 7. Oh, wait, it was actually an 18, a 20, and a 9. I missed my +2. They have different numbers of ranks in them. Why do they have different numbers of ranks?
Okay. So let's play out the scene then. You were out there, you were just, walking around saying, wanna buy a watch?
Yeah. So, spot was a 22, a 24, and a 14, because again, I missed my +2 for being an elf. And then the other one was,
I got you.
Yeah, 18, 20, and 9. So, decent. Pretty decent.
Okay, and then you said you were going around that area as close to where you believe the Thieves Guild is as possible, and trying to sell your wares of gems and trinkets.
Yeah, hoping that even if I can't spot what I need to spot, I'm listening, seeing if anybody, has a clandestine conversation, and I'm also hoping that eventually, somebody will be like, oh, I know somebody who would want to buy this from you. I fail everything else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, make a diplomacy check.
Okay, my die is being mostly happy with me today. Diplomacy is going to be a 20.
You managed to sell quite a bit of it. You've sold about 50 gold worth of gems, so we can convert that on your sheet into actual gold.
Yep, and I have supposedly 100 gold worth of stuff left, and I add 50 over here.
Yeah. Now, there was an incident that occurred as you were doing this.
Okay.
Where you were fairly certain you heard someone walking up behind you, like they're going to do the bump and frisk.
Right.
And you managed to hear them coming up on you, and then you managed to spot what they were trying to do. Yep. So how do you want to handle them as they're going to bump into you?
Well, because the bump is a classic cut purse move, I'm going to try and turn it around on him so that I wrap him with my elbow, but move out of the way so that he doesn't get a good feel on me, but I manage to lift something from him, or her, whoever it is.
Okay, at the moment, you're hearing them coming up on you, so you don't know.
Yep.
So make a check to attempt to turn it back around on them.
Okay, I'm going to roll sleight of hand. And that's a 26.
Nice, okay. I'm trying to remember how I oppose sleight of hand.
Probably with, well, they could counter with sleight of hand, I suppose. They could use, not really escape artist. They could maybe do a reflex saving throw, but I don't know what you'd need to roll. Maybe my thing is the DC.
I'm pulling up the PDF.
Mm-hmm. I think it's, spot, honestly. See if they notice me doing it.
Makes sense.
It is spot, yes. It looks like it's two different things you have to beat.
Mm-hmm.
You have to beat 20 to do it, and then you have to beat their spot check to not get...
Okay, well, I did manage to beat 20. Let's see if I beat their spot check.
Okay, so here's what happened. On the die, I got a 2 on the spot, and I got a nat 1 on actually trying to pick your pocket.
So I think I successfully reversed this on them.
Okay, play it out for me. What's the scene?
Alright, so as this person's coming up behind me, I think that Gaz will continue to act as though he's unaware that anybody's coming, and then he would take a staggered step as they were about, as he's aware they're about to pull the maneuver on him, and he's going to, come back up such that he strikes them almost as they were anticipating, but he's got his body twisted just so, being pretty much an expert at this kind of thing already, and he's going to maneuver around them and push off them like he was losing his balance and apologize. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. And it is during that movement
very
as
good.
he rotates around them and catches his balance against them that he picks their pocket.
So you turn and you spot fairly young halfling approaching you. They've got very young features for a halfling, so, halfling equivalent of teenager possibly. They seem nervous. They bump into you. They try the frisk. They fail horribly. They don't even get their hand down your pants. Wait, what? And then you straight up just reverse the maneuver and take their coin purse. An actual pouch full of gold pieces. And they're busy apologizing for bumping into you because it failed so horribly that now you know that they've done it.
Yep. So I'm going to, accept their apology, and I'm going to let them get a few steps away, and then I'm going to very audibly juggle the purse so that it clinks, and I'm going to say, I believe you dropped this.
The halfling turns and looks very, very flustered and upset because they're convinced you're going to pummel them within an inch of their life. And that's mine.
I know.
Meanwhile, Yanmaris is just cracking up because she saw the whole thing.
I'm going to open the coin purse, and I'm going to pull out whatever the top 2 coins are. I don't care what they are. And then I'm going to, pull the strings on it to seal it shut again. I'm going to hold it out, say, do you want it back?
Yes, please, sir.
Oh, come get it. I'm going to get crouched down and hold it out.
Oh, wow.
You said it was a child.
Accept it from you. Well, yeah, it looks to be maybe a teenager equivalent for halfling.
Oh, okay. Well, still, I have to get a bit low because as he approaches, I'm going to pull it back about 6 inches, and I'm going to stick my other hand out and catch them in the middle of their sternum with a finger, and say, "You can have it as soon as you tell me who your boss is."
So now they're flustered as all get out because they definitely don't want to tell you who their boss is. But they're also scared of you. So this halfling is basically just shaking and stuttering and trying to spit out words.
Now calm down. It's all right. I'm in the life. I just want to know who's running this part of town. I would like to speak to them.
I can't tell you that. Give it to me. You can keep it. I'll go.
Fine. You don't have to tell me. Just take me there.
No, maybe I'd just tell you.
Okay.
I can't do that either.
I know that I'm supposed to give someone around here a password. What's the password?
They eye you suspiciously.
Look, boy.
Password for what?
I have spent 2 days trying to locate the people in this town who run your business because I've got a new worker for them. Imagine how good you'll look bringing in a new recruit. And this purse of not insignificant amounts of gold.
Okay, roll to persuade the teenager.
Woo. Diplomacy, I assume?
Yeah.
It's a 17. My die is still happy with me.
Hold on, I'm trying to interpret the chart again.
Sure. It's usually opposed by sense motive.
There's a DC based off attitude.
Right.
So that is enough to get them from unfriendly to indifferent.
Okay.
Or indifferent to friendly.
Okay.
So we're going to go from unfriendly to indifferent with that.
Okay. Which means they don't want to stop me, but they're not necessarily inclined to help me. But I am offering them...
Yeah, we'll say that you're making progress.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to go to the next person before we make further progress, or did you want to finish with this kid?
I want to go to the next person.
Okay. Next person is...
Okay, I got a message from Zan about Mahal.
Okay.
That's entirely possible. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, so I meant to actually ask you about that a couple of days ago when I thought of it, but then I got busy.
That's fine. We can do that.
Sounds cool to me.
So I'm assuming that this person is a smith?
Yes. If you want, I can send you my family tree that I had made when I was bored.
You can send it to me after the session. It's fine.
Fancy.
Okay. Mahal is going to head over to... Hopefully he's going to find out where to go to find the smiths, and then from there we'll play out what you asked about. Was Mahal around when there was a discussion about there being different streets for different types of trades?
I think so, but I was going to have him just ask the bartender where to go.
I'm sure that Mahal has the information available, especially if he doesn't know it. There are people in the group who know it. For example, Zira. Zira had found out where to find somewhere to do the armor, the leather armor. So yes, you're going to spend your morning heading over to essentially Smith Street. There's different ones for each type. So which one are you looking for? Weapons?
Yes, weapon.
Okay, and tell me the name of the person that you were messaging me about.
Mahal the First.
Okay, yes. If you were, say, hypothetically walking down a street of weaponsmiths, would you perhaps recognize the sign sitting in front of a shop owned by someone who happened to be known as Mahal the First.
Yes, because the Mohawk is the family. What's the word for that? Symbol, kind of, I guess.
Well, guess what? You were walking down the Weaponsmith Street and you came across a shop where the sign was the emblem of a Mohawk, a big old red Mohawk.
He will for sure enter there.
Okay, you go into a shop that on the outside just looks like an ordinary shop, but when you come in, you see that all the surfaces are about a foot lower than you might have expected in Averin, except that you know that you're walking into the shop owned by someone in your family. And there at the counter is an elderly, venerable, buff dwarf with a giant red mohawk. He is not currently looking at the door, but he does say, "Greetings, sir or miss."
Is that all I get from my own grandfather?
It would depend on if you were... And he looks up and sees you, and then shouts an expletive in Dwarvish.
That's a little closer to what I was expecting as a hello.
Aye, laddie, how are you doing? Long time. I didn't expect to see you in Averin.
I've been trying to travel around, fight monsters, gain some honor.
Did you achieve any of that?
Well, I fought a orc captain, and I beat him. Only damage there was he took an inch off my mohawk.
He looks at the mohawk and goes, "It's a shame. Crying shame, but you won."
Oh, most definitely.
So the rest of the conversation is going to be him wanting to catch up with you, but was there something you perhaps wanted him to work on making for you?
Yes. I was going to try and get a new weapon and sell my battle axe that I picked up from that bandit.
Okay. He'll take the battle axe's payment. You know, family discount and all that.
Sounds good to me. And I asked him for a Dwarven Orgrosh.
Oh, been a while since I've made that. I'll have to refer back to some blueprints, but yes, I can do that.
It'll definitely be nice knowing it's made by the family, so I can trust its quality.
He practically beams at the compliment, and as your character probably remembers, it doesn't take much to butter him up, and then he'll do pretty much whatever you want. He is Grandpa, after all.
Bit out of character. He was also the one that I put in my backstory to teach Mahal how to weaponsmith in the first place.
Nice. Well, we can definitely have some times where he's teaching you. Oh, question. Is Zan the First meant to also be your fighter mentor?
Yes.
Okay, that will work. He is quite the accomplished fighter as well as weaponsmith. And then the walls of his shop are just lined with weapon after weapon that he crafted himself. Like dwarven war axes, for example, throwing axes, things like that. So we're going to pick up there, but we're going to cut over to Zira now. Zira in winter.
Okay. Well,
You said you were wanting to just explore?
Yeah. And,
Okay. How do you want to do that? Do you want me to just tell you what you see, or do you want to tell me what you're looking for?
Maybe she's just looking for some random trinkets.
Tristan, I just had the funniest thought. I don't know if Tristan's there, but I had a thought of
Tell me your thought.
looking to find someone selling trinkets, and then you run into Gaz, and he doesn't even pay attention to who you are, and he ends up selling you a trinket.
I thought they were a fence.
What?
I said I thought they were the fence I was looking for.
But yes, you can go shopping along the Commerce Road, or you could go along the river. Either is going to have some nice businesses that are just basically little trinkets and souvenirs and stuff. Is there a particular type of trinket that you're looking for?
Something that Winter could have.
Ooh, like what? Like a collar or?
Yeah, maybe like a...
Okay, then make a roll for search.
All right. 14.
You find a pretty nice collar for Winter that is not constricting, and it has probably fake gems along it that adorn the collar and look kind of like sequins. It's very shiny and looks very nice for a good girl like Winter. But again, is not too tight for Winter either. What color would you like it to be?
Blue.
Okay, they can make it in blue. And make a handle animal check.
All right. To handle Winter, just the DC is
Yes,
different.
to get the collar on Winter. Since Winter is yours, I will have you make the check, and then with the result, you can tell me what you believe Winter would do in reaction to you putting the collar on Winter.
It was a 19, so I think it's without issue. She just puts it on.
Winter likes the color. She feels very fancy. Now then, is Zira going to get anything for Zira?
Not at the moment. How much is the color?
1 gold.
Okay, 1 sun. Here you go.
Now, one thing you noticed as you were walking is when you look over at the shops on the river, you did notice some restaurants there. So that could be something you could either do now, or you could try and retrieve some of your friends to bring them there. But there's a nice restaurant that overlooks the river.
Oh, Winter, we should go eat there later. We should get the others, though.
Winter whines. Winter wants to go now.
She's going to go looking for maybe like a food stall.
Okay, yeah, that's easy to find. You're going to get snacks
we'll get
for the
food now.
2 of you. That'll work out. We'll make the price a copper for a snack.
Okay.
Now we're going to move on to Rook. What are you going to do in the morning before you head back to the paladin who said come in the afternoon?
Probably just make sure his weapons and armor are tended to, because there's everything he could do needs information from that guy. So make sure his weapons are properly taken care of, and if there's still time left, then just head to the temple early, maybe get some training or sparring in before he meets up with the other paladin.
Okay, where are you going to spar?
Like I said, if there's still time after taking care of the weapons, it would be like at the Temple of Court. I would just find someone there that I would I expect there'd at least be someone there that wouldn't mind a little practice.
Okay, so we'll say that's pretty easy to find at the campus of Cord. So make some attack rolls and strength checks for me. We'll say 2 of each.
Attack rolls and strength checks. I assume I should just make them standard, not bother with like power attack.
Yeah, whatever your default is.
All right, then let's see here. I said 2 of each.
Yes, and then also give me your AC.
The attack rolls were 20 and 17. My AC is 17, and the strength checks are 20 and 10.
All right. You are going to think real quick about who you're sparring with. Okay, yes. So you managed to find a sparring partner. It's a very tall human woman who is around your level of experience. So, out of game terms, essentially a level 3 character. And she willingly takes you on, and the 2 of you seem to be equals in every way. You struck her, she struck you. You tried to best her in wrestling. She managed to meet your strength.
All right. Cool.
So I can tell you her reaction, or you can give me your reaction.
His would more or less just be kind of it would mostly just be respect for the most part.
She seems to be equally impressed. She helps you up because it ended with her knocking you to the ground because basically your roles were opposites. And she helps you up, pats you on the back pretty roughly, and says, "You're not so bad. What's your name?"
My name is Rook. What's yours?
Dang it. Tristan's right. Names are like alms. They're never there when you need them. Okay, here we go. Her name is Ingram.
Ingram. Nice name. You from around here?
Yes, I've been here for about a year now.
Seems like a nice place. Had any, let's go with kerfuffles of late?
Kerfluffles? Run me by what that word is.
Any dust-up, fights, battles, trouble?
Hold on, I gotta deal with something. Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
So you had asked Ingram something. I missed what it was.
If there'd been any, fights or trouble lately. Anything interesting, more or less?
It's been pretty quiet lately. I don't know. It's been kind of boring. I cause trouble on my own sometimes. I go to a dungeon. I go to a tavern. Maybe someone looks at me wrong, but overall, I'm just getting bored. I can't wait for them to send us on our first. Wait, did you join the Church of Cord? Are you a new member?
I haven't been officially indoctrinated yet, but I am a paladin of Cord. I'm certainly one of his followers.
She raises her eyebrow at your choice of the word indoctrinated.
What else would you call it?
Inducted, perhaps. So she nods at you and she says, "Well, I hope that you're able to make it in. You seem worthy. We seem to be equals, or maybe you just got lucky."
I think I was having an off day.
She accepts that challenge as an invitation to spar with you again another day.
I certainly won't try and change her, like give her a different opinion.
She's off now to go eat lunch, but she welcomes you to the campus and she says you're welcome to spar with her anytime.
I may just take you up on that.
And when I say she's tall, she's 6'2", around there. How tall is Rook? I've forgotten.
6'4".
Okay, so that's why you're equals. That makes sense. She seems to think you're a pretty stand-up fella. So we're gonna pick up with your thing as Borem comes back, and we're gonna head over to Isarel, just lost in New York City.
Heck yeah.
So we can do like we did with Zira, where you can I can tell you what you see, or you can tell me what you were looking for.
I think it would be very cool to look for some sort of cultural thing, like either a museum or some sort of cultural building, or even like someone like a tour guide or something.
Okay, make a check for that. You can do search or gather information. Gather information is more effective but takes longer. Also, I'm in favor of what Zan just said in Discord. Guys should definitely every day worship a different god to mess with Rook. Which check would you rather do, Bree? Would you rather do search or gather information?
I chose search because I have 2 higher in that, but I still only rolled a 14 in total.
Okay. So we'll say that you're going to stick with the main road, and through that, and just looking around, you do manage to find a historical building.
Well, this is cool.
It appears to be, it's not a museum. It's just a historical building that's used as a very low-key tavern that apparently was some sort of governing building in the early days of Averin.
I will walk up to the front door and kind of look around and see if there's any like plaques or signs on it. And if not, I'll go inside.
Okay. There is an inscription along the next to the door that says that this, and that's sort of how you found it. It says that this building was one of the early governing buildings for the city of Averin. This is where they would do their town hall meetings back before it was the bustling city it is now.
And there's a tavern inside?
Yeah, it's not like it's not a pub sort of tavern. It's more, it's think more like a really nice diner, but it's got a bar and there's an aesthetic. Like they've tried to keep the building as restored to its original as possible.
Well, I'm very intrigued by this. So yeah, going inside, I'm gonna look around. I might even grab myself a little.
Okay, when you walk in, someone says from near the front, "Welcome to the meeting hall," and they ask whether you'd like to be seated in a booth or at the bar.
Why not we try the bar?
Okay, you're seated at a swivelly chair, a stool at the bar, and the keeper of the tavern says, "Welcome to the meeting house," and then offers, to start you off with a drink or some food or that sort of thing, which we've done before, so you kind of know the drill there.
Yes, grab me an ale, and I have some questions.
Yes, what is it? What would you like to know?
Well, I'm from out of town. This is my first time here, so I'm very curious about the history of Averin. And I saw on the outside of the building, there's an inscription that this used to be the meeting hall. And clearly, you and previous owners have kept that same name. How long have you been in business here?
I have been the proprietor of this particular tavern for about 20 years at this point. It has been a tavern for much longer.
Oh, really? So that must mean it wasn't a town. It was a town hall a long time ago.
Well, yes. This tavern, he starts to rattle off information where he's either an expert or he had just learned conversational stuff about it in order to keep people entertained. But he starts to rattle off information, and he says that this was one of the original meeting places for making governmental decisions back before Averin was a large city, when it was more of a large town. And at some point, it just fell out of use. And then sometime, he doesn't know the exact time, but sometime after an area was no longer in the picture, they decided to restore it and then turn it into some business that people could come and see it, because it's better than not using it.
Well, you and those before you did an excellent job.
Well, all I've done is keep it maintained, but I appreciate the compliment, young lady. He slaps the ale down in front of you, Says that'll be 1 silver unless you'd like to keep a tab.
No, I just want one. I want to have a drink and keep on looking around town. Is there somewhere else you would recommend?
For what? Historical?
Historical, but because I'm from out of town and I grew up with unique situation, I also would be interested in hearing of any good merchants around here. Is there anything that's available for purchase here I wouldn't find in others?
Things unique to Averin, you're asking me.
Yes, I want all the...
He's sizing you up currently to see if you actually have the money to afford what he's going to recommend. Let me do a sense motive to see if that's what you perceive.
Okay. Well, that was better than my last roll. It's a 20, and I have a +3.
It's pretty clear he's trying to decide whether you're poor.
I mean, I don't have a ton of money on me, but I would definitely still be interested in at least seeing something. So if I never come back, I can tell my friends and family that I saw that thing.
I'm sorry, lass. Apologies. There are some recommendations I can make in Averin that are a bit upper crust, you might say. He's hoping you know what he means.
Yes, I'm completely okay with any suggestions you might have.
Well, you're on Commerce Road right now, and this runs from Westgate to Eastgate, and that's where most of the commerce occurs. But for locals who are a little more well-off, like business people, that sort of thing, or noble people, then the Riverwalk is actually not that bad. I've been there. What? Oh, gotcha. There's restaurants, there's businesses, there's 2 different bridges going over the river, and it's meant for those who are more well off, although sometimes you just save up a little bit, you go and you splurge, you go to one of the nicer restaurants or something like that.
That sounds exactly what I would for. Thank you so much for that recommendation.
He nods and asks, is there anything else that you would want to find in the city that's not on those 2 particular roads? Because if so, he can make recommendations.
Yes, anything at all. Like I said, my background is unusual.
He was kind of hoping,
so I haven't been out much.
He was kind of hoping you'd have something specific. Otherwise, he's going to have to write this all down.
Specific, huh? Well, I'm definitely interested in picking up possibly some second pair of clothes, depending on what you make and what's available. Also interested in looking at, I don't know, what kind of pets or animals do you guys have around here? Or do you have a like a petting zoo? Even I can go look at that.
What's a petting zoo, lass?
I've only read about it in books. I don't know exactly if they do it here or in other cities, but sometimes some farmers will just have a group of animals and they'll charge visitors to come look at them.
Interesting. I don't know if we have that, so I can't say that we don't. I can say we have a library. You said you like to read. We also have a park. It's very nice. And that's in addition to what I've already told you about. And then if you were looking for clothing, and then he explains to you the thing that most of you already know, which is that there's different areas around Commerce Street for different types of trades. For example, currently Mahal is on one of the Smith Streets for the weaponsmiths. And that's ripped straight out of medieval history with the different guilds controlling the different streets.
Perfect. So I think I'll start with that, as you called it, the elite walk. That sounds interesting. And then I might head on over to the library.
I imagine Israel is going to have a really good time with the library.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna sessions from now, I'm gonna say, well, what else you guys want to do in the city? Israel's in the library.
Probably.
It's gonna end up being a campaign of just people reading books.
She'll be like, can you believe there's so many texts?
Okay, because of time, I'm gonna pause here and pick up our next session, finishing up everyone's little adventures. And then because of the time that we would be adding to this, then we can take a lot more time with this as well and just really flesh out different things that we're doing in the city. And then I'll try and get you guys some work by the end of next session.
Reasonable to me.
I am nothing if not reasonable.
I'm game.
Except when I'm unreasonable.
Sure.
There was that child that he stuck us with for a while. She was not reasonable.
Oh, you're talking about
The really
Narala. Yeah.
Yeah, Narala.
Her, yep.
Now you're dealing with Yanmara's attitude.
Yup.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna pick up with our next session, episode 19. We're gonna continue with these little adventures, get the group back together, and then go from there. I'm very much appreciative of everyone who showed up in chat to hang out with us, give us suggestions about lizard sausages, and throwing emotes at us, and liking humans, and all of that. It adds a lot to the experience, and I very much appreciate all of you who came and hung out. And more than that, if I can play favorites, I very much appreciate the player. So everyone say your good nights, and we're going to do a quick raid, and then we'll be done.
Hashtag goodbye.
Bye.
Who are we raiding?
Okay, we're gonna raid Sociopath_Randy.
So who is Sociopath?
She is a streamer that I've been supporting ever since she got affiliate back in December. She's mostly a shooter streamer, but just really cool to hang out with.
Fun.
And the raid has begun.